Welcome to The Truth Within, a weekly reflection for Friday, the 9th of April. I hope everyone's doing well and had a good week this week. I just want to start off by talking about or revisiting the Rumi poem from last week. And I just want to revisit it because a few people are asking about the deeper meaning behind the poem. What Rumi is describing in this poem is that we are akin to being a guest house. And the guests that come to us are the emotional guests. Even if these emotions are negative, welcome them in. Nobody wants to have those off days or those bad days. Nobody wants to feel not good about themselves. We want to be productive. We want to be happy. We want to be positive. When those days come along where we're not that, it's easy to become frustrated. This is just the natural rhythm of life. We're going to have good days. We're going to have bad days. And what I started doing in my own life was allowing myself to have those off days. When I would feel down or feel negative, I'd be okay with that, because you can't fix a negative with a negative. So if I'm feeling down and I then become frustrated or annoyed, that just adds to that negativity. And then the last couple of lines of the poem end with, which is my favourite part, be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. It's really deep and really beautiful because it's saying that those emotions are being sent from the universe or from God. And this is what we find when we go through these challenging times in life. We develop and grow as human and as spiritual beings. This is also reflective of a post that I put up on Instagram yesterday, which also went up to Facebook. Only in the darkness can you see the stars. To which I added, we all fall on hard times, but it's during these times we learn our greatest lessons. So that's what Rumi was alluding to. That's what the quote is about. So when you find yourself going through these negative and challenging times, don't be hard on yourself. Don't get frustrated and down about it, because you can't fix the negative with a negative. Be kind to yourself, because tomorrow is a new day. Okay, so I need to just make a correction for something I said last week. So last week I actually said that weekend was the 11th year anniversary of my mom. But it's actually this weekend. This weekend marks the 11th anniversary of her death. I just want to share a quick story about what I experienced going through that with her, seeing how she traversed that experience and how she was able to handle it and really draw from within such a great and inspirational strength. My mum passed when I was 29. She herself was 52 years old, so a pretty young woman. And unfortunately and sadly, she passed due to breast cancer, which had metastasized in the liver. Now, what unfolded over the next few months was just this incredible strength, because she was obviously facing something which was terrifying, but was somehow able to keep it together right until the very end. She said to me, I'm here in this situation, and the only thing that I really can do is continue to laugh, smile, joke, and just find that positivity in everything that's going on. And that's exactly what she did. So that experience of being faced with a really traumatic event actually became, for me personally, a source of great inspiration to see how this woman was facing death and continuing to be positive and to laugh and to joke and just to share and spread love as she did in life was just a really transformational and incredible experience for me personally. Something really interesting happened on the day of her death. As the end was approaching, we would go and visit her in the hospice and we'd go sit with her, we'd go spend time with her. And the day that she passed was like every other day. I'd gone to visit her at some point during the day, sat with her. And that evening I went home, had dinner, I went to bed. But as I was lying there in bed, something really interesting happened. And that was this real strong pull, this awareness that really came over me to say, you've got to go back there right now. I chose not to ignore that feeling, and I went into the room, and her partner was there and my auntie was there, and they gave me the room just to sit with her for a few moments. So everybody left and it was just me and my mom. But I remember she was communicating with someone or with something, and had this idea that possibly somebody had maybe come to get her. Spent some time sitting with her, and then got up and I left to go and join the rest of my family in this kind of green room area. And I sat down, and then again I started to feel this emotion and this pull to go back to the room where my mom was. Without saying anything to the rest of the guys, I got up, walked down the corridor, and I stepped back into the room where my mum was lying. At that point, as I stepped into the room, I saw my mum take this deep breath in. She didn't take another breath in after that. She stopped breathing. And the sensation I felt at that point was what I can only describe as the room rotating. Like, it felt like it had rotated 45 degrees, and there was this huge rush of energy that went surging past me. So I gathered myself and I went back to the other room, and I got the others to let them know that it was kind of time. It was happening. We all went back into the room, and of course it was profoundly tragic that we were witnessing this kind of transition from life to death. But I remember standing at the bottom of the bed and kind of smiling to myself, saying, wow, like, actually what I'm seeing here is just the end of this chapter in my mum's journey. And just being inspired by the way that she was, and thinking to myself in that moment that, do you know what, Mum, you were so brave and you showed such amazing strength. I will continue to show that strength and bravery as I move on with my own life. So when I speak about this moment and about her passing, to me it wasn't a sad moment, it was an inspirational moment. And that's what I always took from that. But the point of the story was not just to speak about her strength and about the inspiration behind it, but also to notice the nuance and that interconnectedness between myself and my mum as human beings and as spiritual beings. For me to be aware of that pull and to follow it, the amazing synchronicity behind it, and how that was so much more profound and synchronous as opposed to it being simply a coincidence. So I'll wrap this up talking about gratitude, because a couple of posts went up about gratitude this week. One, in fact, went up today. I think gratitude is a really important tool we can have in our tool set, because when you have gratitude, it just means that you're grateful for that you have in your life, and there's not that need or that want for more. It's not about consumerism, but it's about being grateful for those things that you do have in your life. Perhaps just the roof over your head, no matter how big or small your house, for the meals that you eat every day, and just being grateful for everything that we're surrounded with. Because we're sliding into this very consumer-driven society where we want the latest and greatest, where we want to be surrounded by materialistic things. And actually those materialistic things can really drag us down and really inhibit our spiritual growth. So the way I try and bring gratitude into my own life is through a routine of prayer. And I try each day to start off by spending 10-15 minutes just going through a healing prayer meditation and just really showing gratitude. It's not that I'm asking for anything in particular, but rather just saying that I'm grateful for everything that you've given me, and for everything that I possess, and for everything that I have right now. We're going to go through difficult times in our life, and we don't need to be praying that we don't go through those difficult times, but rather the strength to endure them. As quoted by martial artist Bruce Lee, do not pray for an easy life, pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Why? Because as we said in the beginning, going through those difficult times enables great learning and enables us to grow as human and spiritual beings. So that's it for this week. I'll be back next week with another reflection. Keep coming back to the website. And also now you're able to follow us, if you don't already, on Facebook. We're on YouTube now, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. So find us on those various platforms, give us a follow, and just keep on interacting. It's been amazing the feedback I've been receiving from people. This takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of time and effort, and the whole reason the platform exists is just to help people on their own journeys. So until next time, keep an open mind and an open heart so you can be open to receive and perceive all the goodness that the universe is trying to throw at you. Have a good weekend, and I shall catch up with you next week.